Just imagine an alternate universe where you wake up in the morning and you never have to worry about a copyright claim or a copyright strike ever again. That background anxiety and stress that lives in the back of your neck every time you start to think about a new video idea or you're uploading the next video, and that stress and anxiety of, if I put something in now that's going to be claimed by someone, am I going to get a strike? To the point that I know some people have mentioned in videos that now they just don't bother playing their instrument, or they don't, the things they want to talk about, they can't play it because of the fear of being striked or being claimed against. Good morning, good afternoon and good evening wherever you may be. I thought long and hard about this video. It's the first time I've ever written an actual full script for a video ever. And I thought about many ways of introducing this video. I thought about doing it as like a Dear John letter. I thought about some sort of intervention kind of conceit to, this relationship is toxic, things are not working out, you need to change. But I realised they were all conceits, they were all kind of gimmicks. And the only way for the message in this video to actually be taken seriously, I needed to present it seriously. I'm presenting it essentially as like a business case. Imagine this is Dragon's Den and I'm presenting my business case to the dragons. Because ultimately the issue, or part of the issue, the music creator community on YouTube faces is it's about money. Let's not pull any punches here. It's not about creativity or artistry. It's business. It's money related. So if you are a musician with a YouTube channel, then this video absolutely affects you. But just know that this presentation and who I'm directing this video at while I'm presenting it is actually YouTube and the music publishers. So let's start. YouTube and music publishers. How would you like to earn more money than you currently do via a brand new revenue stream that you are not taking advantage of? That's not a joke. That's not some nefarious method of me getting clicks or improving my channel statistics. It's a genuine attempt to fix something that I feel is seriously broken with music on YouTube. And no, it's not the fair use conversation that's currently been ongoing for a few weeks since Rick Beato published his video. This is something else that I personally think is affecting more music creators on YouTube than the fair use issue, which is a valid issue. And it's something I cover and include in the solution I'm going to propose later on in this video. This video is a genuine attempt to kickstart a conversation about this solution. And it's about hopefully getting YouTube and music publishers around a table to take this kind of solution seriously and implement something where everyone can benefit. So before I present my proposal, my solution, we need to provide some context. So now we need to have a serious short little chat about cover songs. Every musician who's ever picked up a musical instrument has played a cover song in one way or another. They've played other people's music. It's the one thing that probably binds all musicians more than anything else. Formal music education and the formal teaching of an instrument requires fundamentally learning to play other people's music. It is an inescapable musical rite of passage. I would safely bet possibly that there are more musicians in the world who have only ever played other people's music, only ever played cover songs, and have never actually played or written their own music and performed it publicly. I'd also hedge my bets and maybe suggest that there are more music creators on YouTube putting out cover songs than there are music talkers and music documentarians who just talk about music. So for me, I would hedge my bets and say that this issue affects far more YouTubers than the fair use conversation that's currently been going on for the last month or so. Cover songs are not a music publisher's enemy. They are not a threat to your artist's repertoire that you hold for them and sell on their behalf. Hell, cover songs are free advertising for your artist's repertoire. But in 2020, the world changed seemingly overnight. The venues closed and the way we communicated music changed as well. While it wasn't overnight and like a 180-degree step change that we'd never seen before, obviously there's always been people posting music of various kinds to YouTube. When the pandemic hit in 2020, there was a noticeable step change in just the sheer number of people who suddenly started wanting to share, talk about, discuss music. The number of channels that sprung up, not just on YouTube, across all the social media platforms. I mean, songs went viral that hadn't been heard for 20, 30 years. I mean, that's a marketer's wet dream to have that kind of success. And yet, while we had this new kind of world where we were all interacting virtually over the internet and we were communicating musically in this new way where there was no live interaction, it was all video. Something else hadn't changed. At the back of every music creator's mind is the dread shadow of the spurious copyright claim that takes all their revenue from the hard hours they've put in creating their content. And then there's the even dread older brother of the copyright claim, which is the copyright strike. That fear of the copyright strike lives at the base of every music creator's skull because it's the silent killer. You never know when it's going to strike. You don't know why it's going to strike. And so we've entered this world where musicians are now too afraid to do anything. They're so restricted on what they talk about that most musicians now don't even play music on YouTube, which is a really strange state of affairs to be in. I've been copyright striked twice now, both by UMPG, Universal Music Publishing Group. And the second time, which was literally 4 hours before Rick Beato posted his fair use criticism video, I have, as a private citizen in the UK, with the financial means around me, I don't have the money to do what Rick does and get a solicitor or a lawyer in American speak. You know, I wonder sometimes there's an external kind of perception of America that litigation and suing people and taking people to court is so ingrained in that culture that it's just normalized, and the rest of the world just doesn't work like that. Like in the UK, a normal citizen probably in their entire lives only needs a solicitor for maybe buying a house and maybe making a dodgy whiplash claim for a really slow speed car crash that, you know, $3,000. Nice little payout. But having a family lawyer or a lawyer on speed dial is as alien as having to pay for healthcare. It's insane. And that's not a realistic... Lawyering up just to post a cover on YouTube is not a realistic scenario for the average person who's posting cover versions to YouTube. So if you're a musician right now and you don't really have any kind of experience of the music business, or you don't really know much about it, because you just play your instrument and you listen to music and you don't really get into the weeds of the business, you're probably wondering, what's the actual issue? What's causing this conflict and this problem? So for that, we now need to talk about sync licensing. So if you're a musician and you've got a YouTube channel, but you have no idea how music copyright works and how that affects you and your channel, then I'm just going to give a very brief whistle-stop tour of how music copyright works. If you already know how music copyright works, then skip ahead to this timestamp where we will then just sort of all catch up together. So the word copyright literally means the right to copy something. And I know that sounds trite, but most musicians' experience of the word copyright is uninformed because they don't know the various types of copyright around music, and they've only ever seen this on some physical music media like a CD or a vinyl. And that doesn't really mean anything to someone who just sees that bit of text and the little C logo. I mean, you kind of know that like somebody owns that in a legal business sense, but it doesn't really mean anything other than that. Music copyright, or the right to copy something, with regards to music at least, was brought in when printed sheet music was being distributed, and it was a way to protect the music book publishers who would produce music manuscripts for duplication. This was long before audio recording technology was even invented and sound was even able to be recorded. So that's where it comes from. It comes from sheet music and protecting the ability to duplicate and sell sheet music. There's two types of copyright in music. There's mechanical copyright, and there is performance or publishing copyright. I'm just going to refer to that from now on as publishing copyright, just to avoid any confusion and just to keep the terminology consistent throughout the rest of the video. Mechanical copyright is the copyright and the right to copy assigned to the recording of a song. So back in the day, you would have gone into a studio and you would have recorded your songs, and that would have gone to a master tape, which would be like a 1/2 inch or 2 inch, whatever format they used. There would be a master copy of that finished recording that had been mixed and mastered, and the finished item was your master tape. You'll hear artists talking about their taking ownership of their masters. That's what that refers to. So mechanical copyright refers to the ownership of that master recording. If you play on a recording of a song, you will earn mechanical royalties whenever that mechanical copyright is sold. So like when CDs are duplicated and CDs are produced to be sold in shops, you will get mechanical royalties for the amount of copies of the CD that have been sold. Publishing copyright is the copyright and the right to copy. It's the ownership of the composition, not any recording of that composition, but the actual composition itself. So the song as it's composed. So that's the melody, the arrangements, the lyrics, if there are any, the lyrical melody, anything that makes a song sound uniquely like that song. That's what a publishing copyright protects. It protects the composition, and it also protects the duplication of that composition, whereas other people may want to use it in other forms. Both types of copyright can either be owned by the same person or by the same company, or they can be owned by completely separate entities. The mechanical copyright could be held by one company, the publishing copyright could be held by a completely different company. It just depends on the arrangements, whether there's record deals in place, it just depends. Both types of copyright have organisations that look after the registration and recording and documenting of all the different song recordings and compositions, and they also collect their specific types of royalties for those recordings and compositions. So in the UK, for example, we've got PPL, PRS for music, and MCPS as like the big three. And then in the United States, for example, you've got BMI, ASCAP, GMR, SOCAN, etc., etc. So to those that have skipped ahead, welcome back. And now this is where we get to sync licensing. And this is where we're going to start to pick apart and highlight the issues that are currently, I believe, affecting a lot of the music creator community. A music publisher's part of a music publisher's job is to sell the songwriter's repertoire that they've gone into a publishing deal with. It's the music publisher's job to sell that music or sell those compositions to other parties. Now, that could be another record company or a producer for their artist to record as if it was their own song for their own albums, which ironically is kind of a cover song. And then the other part of it is placement. And that is to get their songwriters' compositions onto radio, like a radio advert, or onto TV, in a TV show or a TV advert, or into film. It's to get it into the visual media arena. So because of that, a large part of the music publishing industry is built on the back of sync licensing with the broadcast corporations and the big film studios. So you think for 100 years, probably 100 years-ish now, sync licensing has been the preserve and the rarefied air of the huge Hollywood movie studios or all the big film studios around the world in each of their respective countries, and radio. So we had radio first, and then we had the era of moving pictures. And then in the 50s and the 60s, when television became ubiquitous in all family homes around the world, the sync licensing then moved into that territory with the broadcast corporations. And then with the invention of the VHS and the Betamax tape system, we got the smaller video production companies who started producing videotape. They were still broadcast corporations. They still need to use cameras and sound equipment, but their final output medium was video cassette. All of those companies require sync licensing. And for however long that has existed, the status quo has been that those were the only people who ever needed sync licensing. And those companies have one thing that the average person on the street who's now a YouTube creator doesn't have, and that's corporate-sized budgets and money to spend. And just go back in time and think back when commercial consumer-grade camcorders became available and finally got to a price point where the average working class family could afford a camcorder. The big old lunking ones that you used to put a VHS cassette in, and you'd have to lunk around 12 pounds of metal on your shoulder just to film the home, your kids like bloody Christmas play or something. Even when the average working class family could afford a camcorder, there was no way to share that outside of the home. The only way you could share that was to invite friends and family around to the house, plug the camcorder into the back of the television, and then play the tape directly off the camcorder onto the television. So even when we consumers had a way to record moving pictures, we had no way to share it. So at this point, I'm hoping you're starting to see now the thread of where the problem has started to evolve. Sync licensing has always been the preserve of big business, big broadcasting corporations and movie studios. But we now find ourselves in a gulf where we've probably got more content creators on YouTube than we have broadcast corporations and film studios and video production companies. There's probably more of us than there are of them now. And we seem to have diverged onto two completely separate continents where there's this vast ocean between us and the way that world works. Take, for example, one of the most expensive sync licenses ever was the film Varsity Blues. Varsity Blues paid $500,000 just to use AC/DC's song Thunderstruck. How does that live in the same universe as someone in their bedroom with an acoustic guitar recording their cover song on their phone or a cheap camera and uploading that to YouTube to share with the world? Those two things, and in the way that currently works, they don't live on the same planet. They don't live on the same universe. Something's wrong when that person is being punished. And I understand why they're being punished, but there's something wrong here that we need to fix. So let me demonstrate with a practical kind of demonstration how sync licensing is missing a huge demographic of people, huge, and how it's basically broken currently and it's being neglected by the very people who want to make money off it. I record a cover song here in my home studio. It's just me, acoustic guitar, microphone, my voice, me playing a guitar. It's of my favourite band and it's my favourite song by my favourite band. Doesn't matter who it is, it's irrelevant. I finish that process and I've got two files. I've got my wave file, my audio master, which is my master recording of my audio. And then I've got my video file, which I then use my video editing software and I sync up my mastered audio file of the performance with the pictures. So I sync my version of those two things together. And I've now got an audio file master and I've got my video file with the audio track on that video is my mastered audio file. So I now want to do two things with that cover version that I've just performed and recorded. I want to release that cover song as a single via my digital distributor, which happens to be DistroKid. But then I want to share the video of my performance on my YouTube channel so that I've got a visual performance of it as well. So on DistroKid, I can go to upload and I'll put some stuff here showing the kind of process. I go to DistroKid, I click upload, I attach the mastered audio file, I fill in all the details, I upload the artwork that I've created for it, fill in who played on it, all that. And then at one point, there's an option for this is to declare that this is a cover song. So I select that option, I fill in the original artist and the song title, and I go through the rest of the steps and I click confirm, okay, whatever, and I fill in all the details I want and that's done. Now in the background, seamlessly, DistroKid will go off to the Harry Fox agency. They're a company in America that provides mechanical cover song licenses. So the DistroKid process, automated process in the background, goes off to the Harry Fox agency. They'll access the Harry Fox database. They'll see that this song is available in the database and they'll grab a license for me. And on top of what I pay DistroKid to upload the song in the first place, for a cover song, I only have to pay an additional $12 a month for that mechanical cover song license from the Harry Fox agency. My song comes out, it goes to all the digital streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Tidal, etc. And I can now earn money from my cover song, and the Harry Fox agency mechanical cover song license protects me, and it also protects the original artist or the original the holders of that publishing copyright to the composition, that song that I am doing a performance of. So when my songs get played on Spotify, for example, a small portion of the money I earn from those plays and those streams, a small portion of that gets sent off to the original copyright holders of the original composition, the original song. That whole process is simple, cost-effective, and beautifully easy to use. There's no sort of having to know what type of copyright you need. It's all done for you. You fill in the information, it goes off, and you just pay an extra $12 a year for that cover song license. Let's go to number 2. I want to upload that cover song to YouTube to share with my subscribers and anyone else who finds it on YouTube. Where's my sync license option when I upload something to YouTube? YouTube's the biggest video platform on the planet. Where's my simple, cost-effective, beautifully easy to use, get me a sync license for this thing that I'm declaring when I upload a video to YouTube? So hopefully the pennies dropped there and you can see the bigger issue on YouTube that I am now going to propose a complete solution for in the next part of this video. In the previous video segments, I highlighted the following societal changes and business conflicts. Number 1, YouTube is now the virtual open mic location. Number 2, YouTube is also now the virtual camcorder plugged into the back of the television location. Number 3, the industry is attempting to maintain and assert corporate methodologies and practices onto a consumer independent trader market segment. Number 4, this market segment does not have the requisite knowledge of or easy, affordable access to sync licensing. And number 5, a lawyer or law firm is not a suitable solution for a consumer independent trader market segment. To fix those issues, this is what I propose. This is the existing YouTube landscape. We have the default YouTube experience for everybody, and for viewers wanting a more premium, ad-free YouTube experience, there is the YouTube Premium subscription service. My proposal is to add a new subscription service called YouTube Music Creator Premium. This is a subscription service specifically for music creators. For a subscription service like this to be successful and to be embraced by the music creator community on YouTube, I'm going to outline some priorities. The priority ones are considered must-haves, and I would consider essential for the service to be a success. And the priority 2s are nice-to-haves that would enhance the paid-for subscription service. Priority 1, a reasonably priced monthly subscription. A subscription cost that scales with channel size and channel revenue to a max ceiling cap. Subscription is not tied to channel monetization. New upload features. New sync license purchase option during the upload process. No exemptions from sync license purchase. 100% complete protection from any copyright claims and copyright strikes. Guaranteed revenue split. Ability to upload modified video file after the original goes live. Those are my priority 1s. The priority 2 nice-to-haves are better profile features. Link existing performing rights and mechanical rights organisation memberships to channel. Link existing IRC codes to sync license and videos. Extend this to music educators, music talkers and documentarians, and fully cover and protect fair use, as described in law. A bump in algorithm visibility for anyone paying for the Music Creator Premium subscription service. Let us now dive in to each of those priority 1 points and discuss and elaborate further. A reasonably priced monthly subscription. The subscription serves 2 purposes, and for the sake of discussion, let's say that 30% of that subscription goes directly to YouTube and 70% goes to the rights holders. YouTube has to provide and maintain the service, which is understandable. The rest is a payment pool for all the potential rights holders that will be declared or used in a premium music creator's videos. Subscription costs scale with channel size and channel revenue to a max ceiling cap. As a channel grows and earns more money, the subscription could potentially scale, much like income tax brackets, with the channel size and channel revenue. However, there has to be a reasonable ceiling to this so as to avoid the subscription cost growing too large and negatively impacting the revenue generated by the channel, as this would make the subscription just completely unusable and unattractive. And I would suggest maybe a fixed percentage ceiling price, not tied to channel monetization. Anyone can purchase and become a premium music creator. Upon purchasing the subscription, the channel is automatically monetized. This allows both the channel creator and the rights holders to start earning ad revenue on videos. New upload features. A set of new music-specific questions when starting a new upload trigger the relevant new options and features becoming available. Are you uploading a live or self-recorded and produced cover song? Are you uploading a video that contains you playing a musical instrument and playing excerpts from music you do not own the rights to? Are you uploading a video that contains you playing audio excerpts of music you do not own the rights to? And then there would be two declaration forms for you to declare what you have actually used in the video. So you would have a publishing declaration. This would be a list of songs used that you are demonstrating passages to, for example, by playing those parts yourself on a musical instrument in the video. For example, it could be a full cover song, either playing live or pre-recorded. Pre-recorded would essentially be a music video. Discussing or reviewing, critiquing a song and playing those parts yourself on a musical instrument as a means of demonstration, as part of the critique, as part of the video. And then there would be a mechanical declaration, and that would be any use of the actual mechanical audio recordings to which you don't own the rights to. So, for example, playing a song from an audio streaming service such as YouTube Music or Spotify, or playing a music video that uses the rights holder's mechanical audio works. When the video is published, the original rights holder's music will be linked in the video description as links to YouTube Music, so the viewers of the video can go directly to the originals if they so choose to do so. New cover song license purchase during upload. If you declare that you're uploading a cover song, then much in the same way that DistroKid has this option, YouTube will now present the sync license equivalent, where you declare the original artist and the song name, and YouTube presents you with the option to buy a cover song sync license. I would suggest that the cover song sync license has to match in price the cover song Harry Fox Agency mechanical license, like you would get, like I presented the example on DistroKid. Again, it has to be reasonably priced for the market this proposal is targeted at. The cover song sync license is a fixed price regardless of the size of the channel. So whereas the subscription, I'm suggesting, could be dynamically priced, the sync license purchase is a fixed price. The back end for this could utilise existing performing rights and mechanical rights databases to identify the rights holders in the same way that the Harry Fox Agency links in, or DistroKid links in to the Harry Fox Agency to determine the correct rights holders when assigning the mechanical cover song license to DistroKid. No exemptions from sync license. So in the same way that there are no restrictions on what you can play in a live music venue, if you were a covers band, you go to a bar to do a gig, there are no restrictions on what you can play if you're playing cover songs. The venue is covered by the PPL venue license. I would suggest that with sync licensing options, there is the same, no restrictions. The only possible limitation is that it may have to match and meet the restrictions on the mechanical cover song licenses from the Harry Fox Agency. And I know one of those limitations is the song has to have been commercially released in the United States. That may be a possible limitation. 100% complete protection from any copyright claims and copyright strikes. This is a paid-for service, and therefore YouTube must act in the best interests of the channel creator. Rights holders get paid via the subscription pool and any sync licenses purchased, so they are covered. There is no need for any copyright claims or strikes. As long as the upload declaration mentioned previously is completed accurately, YouTube Content ID and existing performing rights and mechanical rights databases can be utilised to identify the rights holders and pay the relevant royalties to the rights holders. There will not be an option on a premium music creator's channel videos to make a copyright claim or strike. The videos will be marked as protected to avoid spurious copyright claim attempts and copyright strike attempts from parties who do not actually hold the rights. Guaranteed revenue split. Where a premium music creator subscription channel has declared the use of rights holder audio, whether that be in a publishing sense or a mechanical sense, there will be a fixed guaranteed revenue split for those videos. Making content takes time and effort and deserves to be rewarded, and the creators own the mechanical rights to their own video and audio content. For the sake of discussion, I'm proposing 60% revenue to the rights holders, 40% to the content creator when the video contains declared rights holder material. If there is no rights holder material, then obviously the content creator would get 100% of the revenue generated by the video. Ability to upload modified video file after original goes live. This is already a feature for some of the big YouTube creators on the platform. This will be available to premium music creators to allow the fixing of errors or mistakes discovered post-video publishing time. So this is a quick little insert. It's the 15th of August and Rhett Shull has just dropped his video about YouTube using AI upscalers on shorts. I think another P1, priority one for this proposal is that the video footage is left untouched and kept at its original resolution and bit depth, and that YouTube is not to add any form of AI upscaling or modifications to our video content. I think this also shows that there is a larger problem looming that is coming and that is going to make a paid for creator subscription inevitable, and that's the back end storage costs and bandwidth costs. My day job is I'm a senior server administrator for a company in the UK. My job is literally servers. I am a server administrator. I deal with Active Directory, DNS, Exchange servers, Azure cloud services, Office 365. That is my bread and butter. There is a tipping point coming, and this entirely free service that we've been taking advantage of for the last 15 years or so, maybe a bit more than that now, I think is unsustainable. I think from a creator's perspective, allowing billions of people to upload as much footage as they want, we are now hitting a tipping point, and I may have to make a separate video about that because this video is going to be long enough as it is. I just need to drop this in as I've literally just watched Rhett's video. Now we'll discuss the priority twos in a little bit more detail and expand on those. Better profile features. Currently, the profiles on YouTube are basic, to say the least. Give music creator premium subscription customers better profile features such as embedding merch stores from other platforms such as Shopify and Bandcamp, so the creators can sell merchandise directly from within the YouTube platform. Better photo gallery options, maybe calendars for gigs, live events, almost like a one-page band website light. Another option I've thought about is a global video description footer. So what that means is in your profile, where you modify your profile, you have a new video description footer option. That is a text box where you can put in all the static links and static information that never changes on your videos. That currently you have to either go into each video and manually update the bottom of your description where you usually put this stuff, or you have to use like third-party tools. Give Music Creator Premium subscription customers a global video description footer text box in their profile that they can update once and set all their static information, and that gets automatically deployed to all their videos at the bottom of the video description. Link existing performing rights memberships. I am a member of PPL and PRS for music in the UK. There potentially could be benefits both from a performer and a mechanical rights holder myself in linking my PPL and my PRS membership to my channel, because if I do produce cover songs under this proposal and I purchase a sync license, and I've also got an ISRC number for my cover songs that I'm distributing to Spotify and the music channels, this could be a nice way to link all those identities and audio identities together. So there's like a cohesiveness to the entire ecosystem. Link existing ISRC code to sync license and video. So for connectivity, again, this feeds into the last point. This is about a cohesive ecosystem where if I perform my own cover song and I want to release that cover song on the audio platforms like Spotify and YouTube Music and iTunes, etc., I'll register that song with either on PPL or on DistroKid, and I will get an IRC code for that cover song that links to the Harry Fox Agency mechanical license, it would be a nice to have if that ISRC code could also be linked to the proposed sync license, so that it is linked to the video and the channel as well. Again, for that interconnectedness and cohesive system where you can link all the rights together across the various identities. Extend this subscription service and its protections to all music creators, whether that be music educators, music talkers and documentarians. Anyone who creates musical content on YouTube has all the same rights and protections under the Music Creator Premium proposal. And I mention this because I came at this primarily from the point of the cover songs issue and the sync licensing of cover songs. But this clearly has to extend to all music creators. And I will discuss the fair use piece later on because it does need discussing. And that is my proposal for Music Creator Premium, a subscription for music creators on YouTube. I will now basically, the last part of the video will be my final closing thoughts and any other thoughts that I want to wrap around this to finish the video off. Let's address the free use elephant in the room, as I'm sure there might be some very angry comments about to be typed in the comment section saying like, how dare you ask us to pay for free use material, which should be free, a fair use material, which should be free. I can't really respond to that other than to say, well, how's the current situation working out for you and your channel? How are you dealing with the copyright claims and the copyright strikes? How's any music as a community? How many copyright strikes and copyright claims are we having to deal with on a daily, weekly basis? Can you afford a lawyer to fight your battles for you like Rick Beato can? I can't. Are you going to start a class action lawsuit to take the music publishers to court? Are you got the money to start that? We can either sit here and complain and get our comment sections into a frothing, impotent rage, or we can find an alternative. We can look for an alternative. And I guess that's what I'm trying to do, is find an alternative that might actually work for everybody. Would you rather pay a lawyer or would you rather pay a monthly subscription? Just imagine an alternate universe where you wake up in the morning and you never have to worry about a copyright claim or a copyright strike ever again. That background anxiety and stress that lives in the back of your neck every time you start to think about a new video idea or you're uploading the next video, and that stress and anxiety of, if I put something in now that's going to be claimed by someone, am I going to get a strike? To the point that I know some people have mentioned in videos that now they just don't bother playing their instrument. Or they don't, the things they want to talk about, they can't play it because of the fear of being striked or being claimed against. That now they don't bother. What sort of a world is it where musicians can no longer be musicians and we all just end up talking about music? Wouldn't you like to go back to playing music to your audience? Imagine the collaborations you could have where some big YouTube acts do like a cover set and not have to worry about the copyright claims and the copyright strikes. No, I would. And that's all I've tried to present in this video. I feel like this issue that I've tried to address in this video is the last bastion of the old world. The music industry has seen the world change, and yet they, as they did in the Napster days, I feel like this video and sync licensing issue is very much the video equivalent of the Napster years. It seems like the music industry has reacted badly, like they always do, or it's going to take them years to catch up and find a solution. But it feels like they are trying to force the corporate broadcasting sync licensing square peg into the social media, the consumer social media round hole, and the two don't fit. There needs to be a better solution, and hopefully what I've presented is the start of that conversation. If the audio digital distributors like DistroKid, CD Baby have managed to build into their platforms such a simple, elegant, easy to use, cost-effective method of mechanical licensing for cover songs, etc., etc., via the Harry Fox agency in my example with DistroKid, then surely there is a world we can live in where video and sync licensing can be just as simple, cost-effective, easy to use and reasonably priced for the consumer end of the social media landscape. You know, people on YouTube, music creators, independent artists wanting to do cover songs or talk about music or teach music, educate music, documentarians, people like Rick who want to talk to people and play examples of songs and never have to worry about a copyright strike or a copyright claim ever again, because it's all built into the platform. All the rights holders get a small payout every time we declare a use of their works. And that's it. That's all I've got. This has been long enough as it is. Thank you for watching. I don't know what to do now. I'm so used to uploading a video that I think is really good, whether that's a cover song, my own original music, and I'm just a small channel. I've got just over 1,500 subscribers, but I'm not even monetized because I don't have the watch hours. So I literally have no skin in this game currently because my channel isn't even monetized. If you find the message in this video important, please share it with everyone you can on all the platforms that you happen to be on. I think it would be important if everyone who spent the last 4 or 5 weeks talking about the fair use problems, Rick Beato, Justin Hawkins, everyone who got involved in that conversation off the back of Rick's video, if they could all see this video and share their thoughts on what I'm presenting, because I may be missing something. I may have got loads of things wrong. I'm fully aware of that. I'm just trying to present something that might actually be a solution. But yes, this just may be another one of my obscure videos that goes absolutely nowhere, and I've just wasted 3 or 4 days and a day's editing time putting this video together. But I felt like I had to make it because I felt like I had something that was the beginnings of something that could actually make a difference for everybody. But thanks for watching, and please share this video anywhere you can if you think it's important enough to share. So thanks very much. Goodbye.